My summer holiday was in a caravan in Farmers Fields, you know, and that's the way it was. And I've been to every Open Championship since 1975. That was our holiday, coming to Scotland or wherever the Open was. You know, I was here in Carnoustie in 1975 when Tom Watson won his first Claret Jug against Jack Newton.
The 1975 Open champion is Tom Watson.
I've been to 48 Open Championships in a row and not missed one. It was in my blood that, you know, every year you went, and it was your dream to maybe caddy in one of them. So next year will be the 40th one that I've caddied in, and it's been a lot of special times and a lot of heartaches as well, it has to be said, because it's the one tournament that means the world to me.
But there's Billy Foster, one of the very, very best. Talking to Sam Torrance earlier today, he said he only caddied for him once, as Billy Foster does. He was the finest caddy of reading the greens.
And I was incredibly lucky from the very first Open Championship that I caddied in, because it was here in 1984, and Hugh Baiocchi played great, and on Sunday was actually the third last match with Lanny Watkins. The game behind us was Ballesteros and Bernard Langer, and the last group was Baker Finch and Tom Watson. So obviously when Hugh had finished his round, I was at the scorers up behind the 18th green when Seve held the most famous putt in Open history. I'll never forget that, walking back to the car park and Seve was dancing around on the 18th green. So yeah, I was very lucky to be, you know, the top 10 finish with Hugh Baiocchi in the first ever Open Academy. Some special memories, yeah. Nearly escaped in 1990. I worked for Gordon Brown Jr. for 5 years, done a couple of Ryder Cups, and you know, I thought it was time to settle down. You couldn't make any money as a caddy because there was just no money in the game. So I'd done what I wanted to do, wanted to learn more about the professional game to make my own game better and travel Europe. And I accepted a job at Ilkley Golf Club in West Yorkshire as the assistant pro. And a month before I started, Seve Ballesteros asked me to work for him. So assistant pro Seve Ballesteros, yeah, it was a no-brainer.
Which way you think I should go?
I was very fortunate to work for Tiger Woods once at the President's Cup, and it's the only other guy I've ever worked for that when you walk to that tee, the energy and the aura around everything, the vibe of the crowd, it just puts tingles down your spine, and you know, the hairs on your arms stand up. It is different feeling to any other golfer that I've worked for or seen in recent times. You know, the Ballesteros was the Tiger Woods of his generation.
Billy Foster is caddies. Most recently caddying for Darren Clark, who's also caddied for Seve. One of the few players also to caddy for Tiger Woods when Steve Williams had a week off.
I've had some heartaches in this tournament.
Oh, well. What happened there?
I was caddying for Darren Clark in 1997. He finished second to Justin Leonard, and he was tied for the lead and shanked it off the second tee. And it stayed with him on the front nine. He hit 3 or 4 other flighted semi-shanks, and it just wasn't his day. And in fact, when he hit his shot to the last and birdied the last, you know, he said, "Thank God I've hit a golf shot," you know, and it was the first one of 4 or 5 heartaches, you know. Again in 2001, Darren Clark again, he really knuckleballed a driver off the 17th. It just ran and ran and ran, and it ran about 80 yards and just toppled into a bunker. And he got it up by the green, but then chipped it in the bunker and then missed a 2-foot putt, and he made double bogey and finished third. So that was another heartache. The biggest heartache was Thomas Bjorn in 2003. I'd been out that morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, looking at all the pin positions, and I got to the 16th, the par 3 at Royal St George's, and you literally had about 6 foot to the right of the hole, and it was a graveyard of death. Or you'd Arthur Kent to the left. When we got to the tee, Thomas had a 3-shot lead. You know, it was like Thomas just hit at the TV tower, middle of the green.
Well, there's only been 8 birdies so far at this par 3 16th.
6-iron for Bjorn. He hasn't played the threes so well before this. He was 4 over for the first 3 runs.
Oh, hang on. It's gone.
Certainly didn't take any time with that, did he? Just stood up and teed her up.
And it actually set off straight at the flag, and it bounced right and went down in the bunker.
That was Bjorn on 16, second shot.
Get up, get up.
Stop. Oh, no, not in this footprint.
Don't. Get up.
Troubles with a bunker at the 16th.
Well, he's going to have that for a 5, a double bogey.
I thought about that every day for 6 months. It absolutely broke my heart because it was there. He had the Claret Jug in both his hands, which is obviously from Denmark, and he had the Lurpak butter on his palms and dropped it. And I think he was 7-1 on, stood on the 16th green, and it was there for the winning. And what people won't remember was he actually left a bunker shot in the bunker on the 17th on the first round, and then hit the sand in anger. He said, "Can you believe I double bogeyed that?" And I said, "Thomas, can you believe they get the sand in anger and it's a 2-shot penalty? It's actually an 8. And Tom Lehman came across and said, "Yes, Billy, the sand is a 2-shot." So he made an 8. So he actually hit less shots than anybody else in the Open Championship without getting the Claret Jug. So that was, that was absolutely gut-wrenching.
Thomas Bjorn fought well just for that 16th hole. He would have been the champion, but 'twasn't to be.
It's a dramatic day on the stunning Ayrshire coastline on the west coast of Scotland, just south of Glasgow, for the final day's play in the 138th Open Golf Championship at Turnberry.
Lee in 09, he birdied the first 4 holes.
Well, Peter.
Well, now. Well, it's early in the piece, of course, but that's a wonderful morale-boosting start for Lee Westwood.
And I've just walked from Loch Lomond to Turnberry with a golf bag on my back. 100 miles, raised 70,000 quid for a children's cancer unit, which I thought it's destiny. This is it. You're getting repaid for doing something decent for once, you know. And yeah, and Lee led all week, played incredibly good golf. Came out Sunday, he was leading again, going into the back 9. Stood on the last tee, you're thinking, you know, make par, you're going to be in a playoff. And he just pulled his tee shot a bit, and it ran and ran and ran and ran and just dribbled into the bunker.
Marshall's waving straight down in the centre, which is... Oh, hang on. Woo, woo. Oh, no.
He probably what I would say is the best fairway bunker shot I've ever seen in my life. I was actually on my hands and knees looking to try to judge the loft to see if it could get over the lip, and I think he had something like 187. And he hit a 9-iron, and I said, "No, I'll just get over the lip," and he hit an incredible golf shot. Just missed the lip like that and got it on the green. Brilliant golf shot. He left himself probably, I don't know, 50, 60 feet, whatever it was, and he gave it a run and hit it 10 foot past, and missed the one coming back, which ultimately would have got in a playoff again, you know. But it's given me a few kicks in the gonads along the way, but it's still the biggest, best tournament in the world, and you know, you'd like to think maybe one day before I get dug into soil, you might get lucky enough to win one. I'm very fortunate to win 45 golf tournaments around the world with different players, you know, and yeah, I've said it on record that, you know, I'd give them all away to caddy for the winner of the Claret Jug. It's the one tournament that's, from being 9 years old, is ingrained in me, and the one that's so special.